Resistant to insecticide?
437 of this book here, sixth edition, and it says under the title of examples of selection provide evidence. Examples of natural selection provide evidence of evolution. So on page 437, if you go 2 pages over 439. Wait, don't lose it. Okay, then we find the homology. That's on 439.
Okay, so they're saying similar structures in the forelimbs is evidence for evolution. Okay, they're welcome to believe that. But similar structures in forelimbs might be evidence of a common designer. The Honda and the Toyota both have 4 wheels. That doesn't prove they came from a skateboard. It's a good design that works. So this is an example of propaganda, not science. This is right on topic here. If you're going to say majority opinion is how we're supposed to decide right from wrong.
No, I'm going to say that the opinion of the geneticists is how we should decide whether they come from different chromosomes or not.
Okay. The
As
opinion
I recall, in
opinion
those
of which
texts,
geneticist?
which I have read, written by geneticists,
If
say
a geneticist-
Richard Dawkins,
Or
or
Richard Dawkins, yeah, he wouldn't debate me either. If a geneticist is a creationist, if I can find a geneticist that has a PhD in genetics who doesn't believe in evolution, and they say, hey, Hogan's right, this is not evidence for evolution, it might be evidence for a designer. Would a creationist's opinion matter? Even if he had 10 PhDs, or is he automatically disqualified just because he's a creationist? You tell me.
if he had 10 legitimate PhDs, his opinion would be valid. And it would be part of the question of going intellectual debate of consensus opinion within the scientific community. I.e. the vast majority of the scientists.
I want to try to get you to see a bigger picture here. Okay. I want to try to get you to see a bigger picture. I have several people on my staff, I think 7, who are from the Soviet Union. Okay? Including my daughter-in-law. If a teacher stood up 10 years ago in the Soviet Union and said, kids, I don't think communism works. I think capitalism is a better system. Would you agree, 10 or 15 years ago, that teacher would certainly lose his job and possibly lose their life. They certainly would end up in Siberia if they're still alive. There would be a great pressure. The teachers could honestly stand up in the Soviet Union 15 years ago and say, all teachers believe in communism. Yeah, because what happens if you don't? Okay. We've got the same exact pressure here in America, and I can show you 50 examples if you'd like, including Professor Dean Kenyon over at San Francisco State, where I was a couple hours ago, who nearly lost his job simply because he changed from being an evolutionist to being a creationist. They said, well, then you can't teach here. They took him from tenured professor to a lab assistant. I'll give you 50 examples in a minute if you'd like that. Now, I'm telling you, here at Berkeley University, the land of free speech, if a professor gets up and says in a biology class, and says, kids, I have really doubts about this evolution theory. I think what we're teaching are lies. I don't think this stuff is true. They would lose their job. You don't have free speech here. You guys don't know the first thing about free speech at Berkeley University.
I would agree that most likely should a professor stand up and say, I do not any longer believe in evolution, he would be in extreme danger of his job. However, significant because 99%
because you have to believe in evolution to teach at Berkeley.
Because
and therefore all teachers believe in evolution. This is what you're missing.
No, because more than 99% of the professors at all universities think that creationism has no basis in fact.
Okay, but
I
want to repeat this so they can hear this, okay? You're saying 99% of the professors believe that creationism has no basis in fact. I didn't talk about creationism tonight. I said there are lies in the textbooks, take them out.
Fine, 99% of professors in the relevant fields believe that evolution is true and that there are facts to support it.
Okay.
And they argue that those who attack that claim that there are not facts
well, let me take this one section at a time.
Correct.
Look, you can ask all you want, but let's just go one at a time so people can understand this, okay? I don't think you're correct that 99% of the professors believe in evolution. Washington Times did a survey May 31st, it's in the Washington Times, 1998, the last one I'm aware of, 6 years ago, that said 55% of the natural scientists in the United States believe in Darwinian evolution. That's slightly more than half, 55%. I can show you the
What that was referring to is essentially whether those evolutionists were atheists or theists.
No, the question was simply, do you believe in Darwinian evolution? 55% responded yes, 45% responded no. So it's not correct to say that
What was the
90%.
definition within the context of the question
Well,
of Darwinian evolution?
My point is, it wouldn't matter if everybody believed in evolution. Again, it's a
Everyone
belief.
does believe in evolution, not necessarily the specific
Wait. What
limited
did you just say?
definition.
What did you just say? Everyone does believe in evolution?
Practically all scientists do believe in
Okay.
the relevant fields.
Let me ask you a question then.
in evolution.
Is it possible for a scientist to not believe in evolution? Or by definition, are they automatically disqualified from being a scientist because they believe in creation? Would that the guy who invented the MRI, would you consider him a scientist? He believes in
Yes,
creation.
since he's not in a relevant field.
Not in a relevant field. Okay? What you're arguing here is an argument from majority opinion, and you better take a debate class, son. This won't hold up at all.
I'm not arguing from majority opinion.
Yes, you are.
I'm arguing from universal opinion among the experts.
Okay.
I'm arguing from...
Was there a universal opinion among the experts in the Soviet Union that communism is good 15 years ago? Was that a universal
No,
opinion?
there probably wasn't from things that I've heard, and that is irrelevant to the question.
It's very relevant to the question. You have the same academic denial of freedom here at Berkeley University.
You are right that it is relevant to the question.
It's very relevant. Just because there's academic suppression of a particular view at a particular time in history has nothing to do with truth. The truth is, the evolution theory is only supported by these lies I shared. Now, take the lies out of the books and tell me what evidence do you have to support your theory. I want to see it.
Okay, well, let me try to do that. The essential basis, I believe, for much of what led toward evolutionary theory was the idea that species change over time. We find that because of the sequencing of the fossil record.
Wait. No, it's one topic at a time. You're saying the evidence for evolution comes from the sequence in the fossil record. Would you entertain the thought that there is no fossil record, there are simply a bunch of bones in the dirt, and we are putting our interpretation on them? And if you find an animal buried lower than another animal, it may be a result of hydrologic sorting, it may be pure coincidence, it is not proof. Wait. In a court of law, your evidence...
hydrological sorting would not apply.
Your evidence would not fly as evidence. Correct. So,
Now,
would it be possible?
sorting as an explanation for the sequence
No.
of the fossil record would not apply.
I'm saying-
because it does not fit with
doesn't fit the
water
evolutionary
dynamics.
theory.
No, because it does not fit with water dynamics. Hydrological sorting does not explain the sequencing of the fossil record.
First place, there is not a good sequencing to the fossils. Begin number one. Secondly, fossils are
You will
interpreted.
never find a whale in the Cambrian layers. You will never find any mammal in the Cambrian layers. You will not find a bird in the Cambrian layers. You will not find anything but animals that existed within that period within the Cambrian layers.
Who is interpreting whether a layer is Cambrian or not? Would you agree?
Right, obviously, the Cambrian layers are that area, between, say, several hundred feet of sediment. I do not know the exact area.
Are you
They are an
sure?
area which are beneath these other layers, in which you will only find these
All right.
animals. You will
Let's let a few more people ask questions. There's a lot of people who want to ask questions tonight. But you are a classic example of how your training is blinding you to the obvious, okay? You're saying there's limestone. Limestone is found in
Limestone is not what makes up the Cambrian layers. What makes up the Cambrian layers is the presence of those specific types of fossils within the layer,
Okay.
and different types of fossils that are always the same types of fossils above the layer and above it.
What you just said is precisely my point. The presence of Cambrian layers is determined by